I'd like to thank ARC Justice for facilitating this event in the lead up to the election. The Palmer United Party believes that elections are about a vision for a fair and just society. That is why we hit the ground running when our senators took their seats back in July. How fair is it to scrap the school kids bonus? Palmer United saved it. How fair is it to introduce a $7 GP co-payment? Palmer United stopped it. How fair is it to refuse young people unemployment benefits at the very time of their lives that they need to find their career path? We helped to stop that. How fair is it to adopt a model for tertiary education which once again ties outcomes to the means to pay the fees? Palmer United helped stop that. Palmer United has blocked such measures as we know that law and order is what happens after civil society has failed our citizens. Poverty and the difficulties that people face in their daily lives are what leads to the behaviour that sees our legal system choked with cases. People without hope turn to drugs. Most crime is drug-related, yet there are waiting lists to access rehabilitation both inside and outside our prisons. What are we waiting for? For the person to offend again? They won't let us see the crime statistics, but I think we all know that having promised to lower the incidence of crime, this government has made it worse. Instead of directing resources to crime prevention by increasing education, training and job opportunities and keeping the cost of living in check, this government cuts TAFE, raises car registration and their federal counterparts raise fuel taxes. Oh, and one more thing, they build bigger prisons. When I see a government building bigger prisons, I see a government that has failed civil society. When Liberal ministers spruiked the construction of extensions to Loddon Prison in my town, Castlemaine, I'm sorry, I thought it was obscene and I said so. Don't get me wrong, Palmer United is not shying away from the law and order agenda, but we want to see sentencing that emphasises rehabilitation. And in the cases that is unlikely, Victorians must be protected from violent offenders. We have a sex offenders register, but is there a violent offenders register? There is common sense in juries being allowed to comment before a judge sentences an offender. There is good sense in investing in pre- and post-release programs so that ex-offenders have real pathways to life after crime. The steady degrading of legal aid that has gone on during the watch of successive governments has very serious consequences for the administration of justice. I hear some say that we cannot afford it. I say we can, when you reckon in all the costs. The costs of prisons far exceeds the cost of administering a justice system that is fair and just. More mandatory sentencing is on the way in, and suspended sentences are on the way out. Is it working? Well, the crime statistics we have been allowed to see certainly don't say so. That's why Victoria needs to have the Palmer United with the balance of power in Victoria's House of Review. When the politicians of the old parties are indulging in populism, and worse, bringing extreme proposals before Parliament, the Palmer United Party will seek to restrain them. We know we don't have a monopoly on wisdom, but based on the experience of the last 8 years, we would humbly submit that neither do Liberal or Labor parties. Victorians are well served with expert bodies, but these days politicians seem frightened to hear opinions that don't match their own. That is why we'll consult widely and make referrals to the Law Reform Commission. Thank you.